Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota Zone 4 and it is May 29th and I just thought I'd take a little tour of my garden. Things are definitely different from the last time I videoed. And I haven't potted up these containers yet because I was waiting for some plants and they haven't come yet, so I had to revamp what I was doing. These are electric Orn compact sun patiens. And I know I was going to do a video about potting them up, but basically they come in, I would say, 4.5-inch containers, and I'm going to do 3 per pot. And I'm not sure when I'm going to get to them, but I know I couldn't get all the same, so in this one here, and then the end one over there, I'm going to do the compact. They didn't have enough for me to do all 4. And then in the middle 2, there's a spreading one. So I'm going to try and do that and see what happens. I've never done the spreading. I don't know the growth. I know the compact stays nice and full, kind of round. But it'll definitely be different. I'll see which one I prefer. But I figured if anything, maybe it'll kind of make like a mounding effect. We'll see. And then I did the purple fountain grass in here. So I know in these pots, this is old potting soil right here, so what I'm going to do is maybe take out about a good 6 inches and then put in some really good stuff and mix in some slow release fertilizer. And I think that's usually what I do. It's a sin to waste all of that soil. And unless if I had diseased plants in there from last year, then I'd switch it out, clean it up, but nothing was diseased. My only issue was the earwigs. So hopefully that helps you on how many plants to put in a container with the sun patiens. I think 3 will look really good. These are bigger size ones. Normally I get some smaller ones. They're more in a 6-pack. And then I would say about 5, but I think this will fill out nicely. But right now, today, it's about 95. Can you believe yesterday we hit a record and got to 100? Yeah, Memorial Day and 100 degrees. Usually it's rainy, drizzly, and cold. This is my dappled willow, and I'm hoping that it just looks like this because of the heat. We've been in the mid-90s for the past week, and I would say in a month and a half, I don't think we've even gotten an inch of rain. My heuchera looks so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Don't mind my dog, he's baying. Let's see if I can get a picture. So yeah, I was happy that this made it. It looks pretty good. I was thinking about trimming it up, but right now it just looks a little stressed. I think I'm going to leave it. But yeah, things have definitely changed since my last video. Everything was behind and now it's all caught up. I have not. Sorry about the wind, but they're talking storms tomorrow, so I never know what a storm's going to bring. My hostas look really good. My lily of the valley is blooming and the scent is so heavenly. I love it. So I will put up with its invasiveness. This right here is a daylily that I had at one point. And I think it was more, you know, your ditch daylilies. And it just spreads all over. And I've been trying to control it ever since. Just been pulling it, but it is aggressive. This is dead nettle, or lamium. This is creeping ground cover. It's taken its toll. We had a hard winter, and a lot of things have not done really well. This is another type of lamium. It's more mounding and it gets yellow flowers. You can see the variegated leaves. It's really pretty. I have heuchera in here. I don't have a whole lot of luck with heuchera. I think it's my climate. I really do. Which is sad because the heuchera, there's so many different colors. It's so nice in shade. Solomon seal has to be one of my favorite plants just because how it just arches. It's so elegant looking. And the blossoms are so unique, how they just hang there. It's a nice spreader. Not too, it's aggressive, but not too aggressive. It's been here for, I would say, at least 6-7 years. So it's at least not taken over the garden. Hostas look pretty good. This is my new bed that I planted up. I have Hakanakloa grass. It's all gold, and it is for this zone. Most Japanese forest grass is like zone 5 and up. So I'm hoping it makes it. This is a type of geranium. Let's see if I can find a tag. I'll get back to that one. And I did, of course, curly fries, hostas. I love them. And then some different ones. I did variegated ones, blue, green, just so they weren't all the same color. I think this is Chocoholic Astilbe. And I did it mainly for the foliage. I love the purple with the chartreuse and then like this gold color. And this is, I think, Sun King Auralia, if I'm pronouncing it right. I think I have a tag too somewhere. I have this planted in other parts of my garden. There's another one. I hope the sun's not affecting the color too much. And then you see all of this cotton here. That's what my trees drop. And then they also drop these seed pods, or not pods, but seeds. And they're very aggressive, so I have to keep pulling them. You'll see them in a lot of stuff, but this cotton is kind of a pain. When I'm mowing, that's whenever I have to be careful, because if I inhale it, it gets stuck and then it hurts. Let's see here. Sun King. Golden Japanese spikenard. This garden gets a little more sun, as you can see, so I'm hoping that that chartreuse color comes through a little bit more. And then here's a tag for sorry, I'm not in view. I'm trying Chocolate Shogun, Astilbe hybrid. So I'm hoping it keeps that purple color. And then this geranium here is called Midnight Ghost. So I'll just kind of stand back. I think that looks pretty good. Again, I wanted to go with some heuchera, but it's a hit or miss with that. So I don't know. There were some really pretty ones. Oh, and then this right here, fern. I finally planted some ferns. I don't have any in my garden, and this is called Godzilla Giant Japanese Painted Fern. It's also for zone 4. It looks a little crusty. I've been watering this like every other day as I can. I had a busy work schedule and tried to do the best. Okay, so yeah, I did extend this. I'm a little worried about the snow on the mountain. You can see it's very aggressive. This is the spikenard that I was talking about. You can see that maintains its color a little bit more because there's a little more sun. But I will have to be vigilant about pulling this and keeping the snow on the mountain in check. Fingers crossed that I can do it. This is very aggressive. Bush honeysuckle, I don't have any blossoms yet, but it looks really good. I would say it's probably tripled in size since I planted it. Don't mind, I have a little weeding to do. I weeded about a week ago, and then the heat and everything got just a little rain, and then those weeds pop up. I have blossoms coming. I think this is called Lollipop Asiatic Lily. This is peony. Love it. I might be moving it to a different location. I will probably wait till fall to do that just so I don't shock it too much. And my bleeding heart was blooming just maybe a week ago, and this heat did it in. So all of the blossoms are gone, and I've never had my bleeding heart look this crappy this soon. This is July weather for us. Variegated comfrey. I just love the coloring on that. This is goat's beard. That looks really good. As you can see, things really have gotten big. And of course, my Sum and Substance Hosta is probably my favorite hosta of all time. These are called white feather hostas right here. This one and this one are the same. I have a little one over here. I think I'm going to move them because I know I had a curly fry hosta in the middle here, and Sum and Substance killed it just because it hung over. You can see it was probably right in here. This is black snake root, I think Simicifuga. These are some of the caladiums that I've been growing. I'm kind of transitioning them to the outside. This weather's not been too good for it. I will do another video on my pots. I don't have them all planted up yet, so I'm going to start in back here. I don't want to make you too dizzy. Okay, the sun went under. Okay, I have to get past this pine tree. Alright, and here I have a toad lily, and I'm surprised that came back with the type of season we had. I figured that would not. It's right down in there. Just starting. It's a late bloomer in the season, so it's okay. Some hostas. I have a variegated Philopendula back there. It's probably not the best spot just because I got the pine tree hanging there. This is my climbing hydrangea, and it's not doing much climbing. It's more of a ground cover for me. It just, I don't know. I had high hopes for it. Back here, I planted another fern, and I think it's called cristata. I don't know if I can zoom in on the tag. Cristata the king, I think. I like the way the leaves are, so again, first time for ferns. I think they'll offer a nice contrast to the hostas. I had a viewer that had suggested Philopendula red umbrellas, and I found it. Look how cool that is. The red veining of the leaves. I love Philopendula. Again, this is the spikenard. Not as colorful as in the sun, but it's doing okay. And look at all this lily of the valley here. All the blossoms. I was mowing lawn today, and oh, the scent. Like, I just wanted to stand there. And then plus with this breeze, I love it. I moved my turtle pot. I'm not sure what I'm going to plant in him. He's kind of being hidden by the hostas, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep him there. He's a really cool pot. I have yet to do this one. The birds have been pecking out the lining. This is kind of a hard one to line. But we'll see. And all of my new hostas came back from last year, my new hosta bed. They look really good. I was worried. I love the color of this one. Let's see. There we go. trying to figure out what I want to plant in here to offer some different color or texture. I'm not sure yet. These get really big, so I would say within another 2 years they're going to be massive. Look at the size of the leaves on this one. I think this is, yep, that is humpback whale. That is huge. And all these hostas I got from New Hampshire Hostas online, and they may be a little spendy, but when you get them, you're getting a plant. You're not just getting soil. The hostas that I planted over my new bed over there, I could see where the plugs were and then where the soil was. I'm kind of wondering, am I paying for the hosta? And they were spendy too. Thank God they had a sale going on. But especially the Hakanakloa grass, when I planted it, all the soil fell apart and then I was left with the plug. That was a little weird. You can see my primrose in here is really icky looking, and that's just because it needs some rain and the heat. So fingers crossed that we get rain either tonight or tomorrow. If not, I'll be doing a lot of watering. And then let me know if any of you had issues this year, especially for Zone 4 gardeners. This is my Empress Wu, and she looks pitiful. So when I was cleaning her up, she was kind of mushy. It's all some of the new growth. I went in there, I was cleaning it out, and it stunk. It was the weirdest thing. That happened to T-Rex too, and I had to get rid of them. It was mush. I've never had that happen with hostas before. I left her because she was expensive. So I'm hoping she can right herself. This is, I think, a variegated japonica. For my zone, it has not spread a lot. There is one right here, but that's it. But I would say other people have said that it's very aggressive and it runs, so be careful. These are all daylilies, all the same kind. I don't know the name. I got them from a friend. Lady's mantle, love it. My pulmonaria or lungwort is okay. It's not as big as it was last year, so again, I think our weather just really did it in. We're just having a really weird season this year. And then, oh, I can smell the lily of the valley. My pagoda dogwood. Look how beautiful that is. This has to be my favorite. Well, they say it's a small tree or shrub, but look at the blossoms on it and the foliage. Just love that. I have some astilbe in here. This is a giant one. I'm not sure if I want to move this hosta here. Let me just back up so you get a bigger view of it, not so many close-ups. And then this hosta, also it had some issues because this one right here is the same as that one, and look how big this is compared to that one, and they were both planted at the same time. I mean, same with, I know that, I think these are mouse ears. Again, they're not as big as they were last year, so I think this, what it was is we had very little snow cover in early winter, I would say December, January, mid-February, and we had such harsh, cold weather. I think we were in the negative digits forever. And then about the end of February, we got all the snow. So I don't think there was enough snow cover when we were the coldest, and then we got that 2 feet in the middle of April, and I think that just maybe rotted some things. Giant fleece flower. This grows so fast. Look at the heads on it. I can't believe it's the end of May and this is what it looks like. My last tour was so pitiful. This is where T-Rex was. This is another fleece flower, just not a giant, but I love the leaves on it. Look how neat that is. It has some red in there and like a pale yellow. And then if you can see, it gets a flower head red. That was really neat. They say it seeds pretty good, so I'll have to be careful with that. But I like the difference in colors, and it's nice that it's not another hosta or... Let's see here. And like I said, I have a lot of weeding to do. I just mowed, so there's a lot of grass in the garden too. You can see the leaves are curling. This is a turtle head, and it's hot. These plants are just calling out for help. Primrose, this one's a little more of a spreader. First off, it's not competing with Lily of the Valley, but it's a little more sun. And again, it does need some water. I have some more hostas in here. Daylily. And this is Sabaria sorbifolia. Be careful with this shrub. I keep saying a zone 4, just to let you know. This loves to run. I mean, it was all over the place. I think if you let it go, it would probably take over everything. So be careful. I love the foliage on it, the ferniness. The new growth is pink. It's kind of gone away right now, and I think the heat just doesn't help. Everything's just going way too fast. And in here, I had some black-eyed Susans. I think you can see the foliage, but I also have some, I don't know, are those violas, Johnny Jump Ups? And then I have grass, and I have Lily of the Valley. I think I'm just going to dig that clump up and just restart with, I love black-eyed Susans. I'll just get a new one. I don't want Lily of the Valley in here. It has its own home in the other one. I have another peony here. Has a flower head. I can't wait to see what this looks like. And you can see my tiger eye sumac. I'm going to have to do some trimming. I have a dead, again, it was really bad year for shrubs too. That is Creeping Jenny. I just kind of let it do its thing, and then I see some more Lily of the Valley in there. That came along with one of these plants from a friend. I had removed it, but of course it takes a lot with Lily of the Valley. This is an oriental lily. Let me see if I can get back here. I like the Creeping Jenny. I don't find that it's quite invasive, and I can pull it where I don't want it. It's a nice ground cover and weed suppressor. I had a Sweet Summer Love clematis back here, and it didn't come back. I'm going to have to trim that up. I'm not sure if I want to plant another vine there, or I don't know. I'll have to think. And this is Baptisia. Let me just fix this. It's starting to get its blooms. That looks really good. Another favorite plant of mine. Right in here is, oops, I gotta get out of here, a hardy hibiscus. That's usually a little late to merge, unless if that's some growth down there, which it could be. It might. They usually say by Father's Day is when it starts to come up. Mock orange, I'm not seeing any blossoms on it, but I'm just glad it came back. I hope it gets some blossoms because I hear it's got such a really nice scent. Trimmed up my rose. That looks really good. Hens and chicks are actually doing really good. Normally I don't have luck with them because we're usually so wet. And this area right here is probably more of my boggy area. When we get a lot of rain, this all sits in it. That's why I have a lot of hostas, turtle head. They all love it. More hens and chicks. There. Looks good. And then I'm going to come around to the back. Whew, that's definitely warm. I'll do a tour of my veggie garden in another one. I don't want to make this too long. I feel like sometimes I ramble too much and it gets too long. Joe pieweed. It's kind of all over the place in here. very aggressive. And then my allium this one looks pitiful. My honeysuckle did not come back. I had some growth and then it just disappeared. Not sure what happened with that. I might plant another clematis there. I don't know. And then this is my smoke bush. And I think I'm going to trim it up like right here because I have this growth right here. I know I have some up here, but it's so sporadic. So I'm not sure. I don't want to get rid of it completely because if it has a chance, I don't know. More Joe Pye. Alliums right here. This one did pretty good. It has two. I think the squirrels and the bunnies like to dig in here. And then I have a clematis right here, and that was new from last year. So that's doing really good. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep these teepees here. So I don't know. I know if you can see, the twine just keeps breaking. I have a loose cane right there. But then also this clematis here, bit the dust. But I have, again, a new one I planted last year that looks very healthy, so I'll let it climb up there and I'll get rid of the old. This is a new plant I planted. I think it's called Redgersia Cherry Blush. If I can get it back in the ground. It does get big. It was just a little tiny plant. So I have high hopes for that one. I like how the foliage has red around the edges. I will be protecting that one because most Redgersias I see are zone 5s and up. This said zone 4, so I sometimes don't trust the tags because there's times I bought a zone 4 plant and online it says zone 5. So when I see that, like this fleece flower here, the giant fleece flower, this says, I got it from Avant Gardens, and it says zone 5. So I protect this with a lot of leaves, at least a foot of leaves in the fall. Another astilbe. This peony, look how many heads it has. This is probably the sunniest area in my garden. This is more shade and then more sun in here. This is Philopendula, Queen of the Prairie. This takes over. And I'm letting it because it's gorgeous. And it has a nice scent to it. And plus it likes wet areas. More Asiatic lilies. And this is my honeysuckle vine. And look, I have some blossoms up here. If you can see, not quite open yet, but there, it's all over. Oh, what is that? Am I not in focus? Right there. I don't know. I hope he's not eating my leaves. Oh, I think he's eating my leaves. I'm gonna have to come back and get him off. I won't kill him, I'll just put him someplace else unless if there's another issue. I hate killing things without knowing what they do. Oh, this is some milkweed in here. I had some coneflowers. This is too wet of an area for it, so I will have a sun garden at some point this summer. It's just taken a bit to get to it. Baby steps. And then I will come back through here. This area right here is going to be my sun garden. I just have to figure out how I'm gonna get rid of that grass. I was digging it. It was just taking too long. I have a product called Burnout. I do not want to use Roundup, but I had used Burnout. I had a little bit left. And it did pretty good in certain areas, but I think it's going to take a number of applications. These are my new beds that I planted up. This is castor oil bean, New Zealand purple. My lime green Nicotiana looks really pitiful, but it's also really hot. Cosmos, that looks really good. And then in here, I don't know if you can see it, my shadow's in the way. I have cannas planted. There's one right here. It's called Durban. And can't wait to see what that does. Both beds are the same. And then I'm trying to figure out the best way. I don't want you to see my mess. I have a lot to do still. This garden needs to get planted up. I got my bare root strawberries. I have to add some, I was taking some soil out as kind of like filling in bottom of pots because they're so big. My roses have to wait to be planted until they get in here. And I'm thinking about these cannas right here that I grew. Maybe I'm going to put that where I had the clematis that died. Just get rid of the obelisk and put them there. That might be okay. I have my new arch. I'll go into that a little bit later. My blueberries. This had a bunch of blossoms. This is done. This is a smaller one, but it got stepped on a lot of times. And another one. I hope I get blueberries. I have to remember to net it. I'm really bad at that. Look at my bloomering lilac. Is that not beautiful? Oh, that's just gorgeous. And the scent. It's a shame that it only lasts for not even a week. But, oh, I love it. I'm just gonna sit here and take in the scent. And then my hydrangeas, they all look really good. Then another lilac. Two more hydrangeas. I'm not sure which one is which anymore. I probably should have kept the tag by them. And this is another lilac, just a later bloomer, which is nice. Because then I can have that lilac scent for about 2 weeks. So all in all, this looks really good. I'm very happy. I think this heat is speeding things along a little too quickly. Again, oh, you have to get a bloomering lilac. I can't say enough. I have not. The only time I trim it is right after blooming, and I'm kind of careful because I don't want to do too much, because it does bloom throughout the season, not as much as this. This is full all over. But I would say I've had this here for maybe 4 years now. And I'm going to let these get, I want them to be about 5 feet in height. Kind of a nice little privacy, but not too big where I can't, you know, reach them and prune them. Again, this is a messy area. All of this grass is going to go away somehow. I'm not sure. It's going to go away underneath the arch here. That's going to be fun because I also have rocks in these pots to kind of anchor it. So hopefully you enjoyed this tour and it wasn't too long and boring. I am mainly shade, so I don't have a lot of color. I try and do a lot with foliage, texture, variegation. I would love to do heucheras, but I fail at it. I think it's just more my climate. But so I'm hoping that once I get my sun garden, that will be a little more color. But hopefully you enjoyed this, and thanks for all your nice comments. It just keeps me doing more videos. I love the feedback. Let me know if you're having some warm weather, cold weather. Let me know if you've had bad luck with hostas too. That's a first for me. Or if you've lost anything. It's just I don't know, a bad season this year. But talk to you later.